Like, whenever I had a conversation with my dad a while back, he'd be like, oh, you're not nice to Robyn. And I'd be like, Robyn's not nice to me. And then he'd be like, Robyn is the sweetest, kindest person in the world. How dare you ever say anything like that? And in the same phone call, he'll trash all three of his other wives, and he'll be like, your mom is such a terrible person, and she's taking away from me. Like, it's wild.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tuesday, March 28th, 2023, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I was over on TikTok and someone had mentioned that sometimes clips of Gwendlyn's Brown's make it over there, and I found a couple of clips of Gwendlyn talking about her dad and her relationship with Robyn and discussions about the tell-all. Obviously, she has filmed her next episodes of like responding to the different episodes of the season. She hasn't posted those onto her YouTube channel yet, and that's because she's been on vacation with her fiance. And I noticed that she had made a comment about how her dad had recently called her and had told her that she wasn't being very nice to Robyn, and she made the comment that she said to her dad that Robyn wasn't very nice to her. And then she talked about how Robyn basically was just following the line or towing the line of what was required in order to be in good graces with her dad, to survive, and to get what she needed. And I started thinking about Robyn Brown in the context of not necessarily having a soulmate, but having a sugar daddy or someone to take care of her, and got a cushy life that she needed and wanted that she didn't have before she met Kody. And I dove back into some of the stuff from Becoming Sister Wives, and it's all there to begin with, and it's all there for the taking. I also thought about a video I just did yesterday. Some of you guys said that in the comments, didn't Robyn steal her sister's boyfriend, and wasn't Preston, her ex-husband, dating her sister Fawn? I just want to clear this up. Fawn and David Preston Jessup, I don't believe were ever dating. He may have had a fancy for her, meaning that he liked her, but he never was dating her. And he did date Robyn for a period of time before they got married. They did happen to get pregnant before they got married, and got married after they got pregnant. And he was not ever planning to be a polygamist. His dad was a prominent figure in the Pinesdale area, and his mom actually was an Allred. So that's where the connection to Christine's family becomes, because he is cousins with Christine. And his father is one of the founders of the Pinesdale community, one of the big names up there. And so Robyn went from a son of a prominent polygamist, but the guy didn't want to become a polygamist, leaves him. She's in deep poverty, and she is looking for some stability. And a lot of the talk about Kody when she meets him has to do with he has a nice car, he has a big house, he takes care of his kids, he's financially stable. And she even said she didn't care what the man looked like. I wanted to talk about that in this video and sort of bring you the full clip from Gwendlyn so that you can hear the whole thing. Before we dive into today's topic, can you do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, please subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button below. Make sure to click on the bell so you get notified anytime I go live or new content loads. If you have something to say, please leave a comment, and as always, share this video with your friends. The clip I'll play for you in total actually comes from TikTok, and this is what Gwendlyn said.
Like, whenever I had a conversation with my dad a while back, he'd be like, oh, you're not nice to Robyn. And I'd be like, Robyn's not nice to me. And then he'd be like, Robyn is the sweetest, kindest person in the world. How dare you ever say anything like that? And in the same phone call, he'll trash all three of his other wives, and he'll be like, your mom is such a terrible person, and she's taking away from me. Like, it's wild. I just think it's because Robyn is upholding this patriarchy that he seems to think that is happening, and Robyn just, like, listens to him, and I don't want to, like, trash her at all, but, like, does what he wants at this point, just to make herself and her children survive.
Her opinion of Robyn is that Robyn is upholding the patriarchy and ascribing to the patriarchy that Kody wants. And she is saying that Robyn is doing this in order to get her needs met and so that she can survive. So Robyn came into this marriage after she had been married to a man named David Preston Jessup, and she came into the marriage with 3 children. And so when she walks into this marriage, she's a divorcee with 3 kids. She is looking for someone to help give her a better future. And in becoming sister wives, this is what she said that she was looking for. I didn't need the complications of dating in my life. I knew that since I was a mother of 3, my dates would be more like job interviews than romantic encounters. After all, any man who might court me needed to be up to the task of helping me raise my children. And while I wasn't outwardly considering marriage, I was pretty certain that if it happened, I would join a family as a plural wife. If and that when I married again, I wouldn't care the least bit what my husband looked like. None of that superficial stuff mattered to me anymore. My husband could be old or young, fat or skinny. I didn't care as long as he was a good man and a good husband. I wanted someone whose sole priority was taking care of his family. I knew that anyone who was interested in this job would have to demonstrate himself thoroughly and competently as caring, unselfish, and strong. She was looking for someone that could take care of her. That was her purpose, her goal. She didn't care what they looked like. She didn't care what they acted like. She just wanted them to be a good provider and a good husband and a good dad. That was it. And obviously, on the surface, that sounds good, but it seems like she had a low bar. And it's easy for someone like Kody to love bomb you in the beginning and sort of show you the good side of him. And then you sort of, you see the nice car. She even mentions the first time she goes to the Browns' house, she noticed that he had a nice house and that he had a convertible. And she thought she was at MTV Cribs. Yeah. And then when she and Kody started courting, she didn't even really care for, he asked her dad to court. She didn't ask him to court. And she says that she wasn't in love with him for quite a while they were courting. She said that he did and said everything perfectly, but she never found like a certain attraction to him. So she and Kody start this relationship, and she has this idea that she is looking specifically for someone that can provide for her, someone that is a good father and a good dad. And then later on in this book, at the very end, when she's talking about celebrity, she actually had some pretty lofty goals that she was looking to accomplish. So she says that Robyn is looking for someone to take care of her family. And I feel like this part in the book is a pretty good a testament that Robyn had a specific thing she was looking for when she got married. So she wrote this. Several years before I married Kody, when I was in an absolute low point in my life, I made a life list of all the things I wanted to accomplish. Since things were going so badly for me at this time, I allowed myself to dream as big as possible. Here was what was on my list. Change the world, meet Oprah, write a bestseller, and own a business. I look back on that now and I think, be careful what you wish for because you might get it, and then it may be something you don't want. I can never underestimate the positive impact of Sister Wives, but there are days when I wake up and say to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. I want everything to go back to normal. She also said that being on the show has altered her entry into the family into a plural marriage. So because of the bad press, she was deemed a homewrecker, and that impacted the marriage and that impacted the family, and that the media and she blames kind of the media for that. Like, during the first season, many of our fans cast me as a homewrecker out to destroy Mary, Janelle, and Christine's happy family. I try not to dwell on the internet's commentary, but since I think it's important to interact with fans, I can't entirely avoid it. There have been so many negative comments about me that it's been difficult to shrug them off. People believe I have an ulterior motive, that I want Kody to myself and not because I love the family or my sister wives. People believe I'm manipulating and I'm conniving, and I usually place last in the sister wife poll, favorite sister wife poll. I know I should be stronger and not allow opinions of our viewers to bother me, but so much of my marriage is tied up in the show, it's impossible not to be aware of the feedback and the audience reactions. I've had to be very open with Tim, our producer, and tell him in certain areas he has to tread lightly so as to not give America women another reason to hate me. If the audience dislikes me, then we've failed at our mission to convey the joys and the stability of our lifestyle. We want to dwell on the positives, not only on dramatic things, and sully the picture, if only temporarily. Any woman living the plural life will tell you that struggles that we have shared about a new wife coming into the family are very normal, and over time, things get better. So the interesting thing is that Robyn's entire marriage, so before she gets married to Kody, right? She wants to write a book. She wants to meet Oprah. She wants to change the world. She wants to start a business. She accomplishes all of those things. I mean, you could argue that the changing the world isn't necessarily like that lofty, because she, the show impacts some people. And through the show, they've decriminalized polygamy in Utah. So in that respect, they've changed things a little. Their book was a bestseller, but she had a goal, right? And we've had people come from Montana tell me that she wanted to be famous. She wanted to be on a reality show. She wanted to get out of poverty. Kody comes in like a lightning bolt, and he's got Lexus convertible. He's got a house. And mind you, at this point, she's living in a trailer. She doesn't have heat. She's putting in logs to get heat into her house. Her kids they're living hand to mouth. She's on food stamps. She is not as self-sufficient as she probably would have led you to believe in the beginning. And then Kody, in many ways, just plays on her need for this money, attention, and affection. And he gets a huge sale of a sign. And she says that instead of that money going to his family, to help his family, who, by the way, Christine filed for bankruptcy in 2009. This is when all this is going on air. Christine is also on food stamps. Kody doesn't use the money for the sale that he makes, this huge commission, for his family, but instead he uses it for Robyn, to bring Robyn into his family to help move her to Lehi so that she can be closer to him. So Kody, from the very beginning, was showing her and showering her with gifts, with money, with I can get you out of poverty. And I think in many ways she's used that to her benefit, because she ends up with the biggest house, where Janelle ends up giving her like $200,000 for her down payment. She ends up with a house filled with all these ornate trinkets. She does not live anywhere near the poverty line anymore. The house that she lives in Flagstaff has 4,500 square feet, is valued at over $1.2 million. And it's not a mansion, but it's not a small house. And when you think of where she came from and how she's come, and then you also think that she and Kody have only known each other in the context of the show, can you imagine what the identity of a marriage will happen after that happens? I do think that Robyn has been able to manipulate Kody to get what she needs and wants. And I think Kody gives her what she needs and wants. So Kody knows if I give her gifts, she'll be happy. And she knows if I follow the patriarchy, he'll be happy. When I've talked to people about Kody and Robyn, when I talked to one of Preston's friends, they told me Kody and Robyn are not soulmates. They are two peas in a pod. They are narcissists that are using each other. Kody is a narcissist that's using Robyn because she looked good when he was, 10 years ago when he was on a show, and she was the youngest wife, and he wanted a new, fresh piece of meat. And Robyn was looking for fame, and he was able to give her money and was able to get her out of the life that she led. And they've become sort of this combustible pair that together their goals were so greedy and so insatiably in this need for money, for attention. And I said, why is she so obsessed with money? And they said, because she's addicted to shopping. And so the show was a vehicle for her to shop. I know, it's ridiculous. But you know what? The tell-all, so you have these two people that have a combustible relationship that it's very transactional, and now they're always going to have to be together. So are they soulmates, or are they using each other? That I don't know. And I apologize. Some of the stuff we've talked about this, but Gwendlyn's comments sort of solidified the things that I've heard. Like, she's just using Kody, and Kody's just using her. It's not about love. And then someone asked her about the tell-all and the questions that Kody asked, because Kody wouldn't answer questions about Robyn.
Jen says, does your father tell TLC what questions they're allowed to ask him during the tell-all? They'll seem to avoid some of the hard questions that viewers would love to hear the answers to. I totally agree with that. I would have, like, the whole time I was watching, I was like, where are the hard-hitting questions? Where are the tough questions? I don't think that my dad tells TLC what questions they're not allowed to ask, but I feel like he probably, like, might communicate. He's, like, not comfortable with certain things. But the thing is, she said, is Robyn the favorite wife? I'm pretty sure I saw that in, like, a coming-up scene for the next episode or something. She said that. And he was like, that's such an offensive question to ask. But he seemed so appalled by that I wouldn't think that he was telling them they're not allowed to ask certain questions. It was weird to me that she didn't ask, like, a lot of big questions people would actually be interested in.
So Gwendlyn says that her dad seems to be offended by the question about Robyn being the favorite wife. And we saw that on the tell-all. We all saw that. And how he responded and how he wouldn't answer questions about Robyn. And he does seem to favor Robyn, although he will never admit that. And I think Robyn will just do what he wants. So he favors whoever gives him what he wants. That's, to me, the ideal of a narcissist. Like, as long as you're giving him feeding his supply and praising him and sucking up to him to get whatever he needs, you'll be his favorite. But he's going to get tired, and she's going to get tired, because eventually they're going to run out of money, or they're going to run out of reasons to use each other. And she said that she doesn't think that Kody can tell people what to say, but I do think that Kody can. If he doesn't want to talk about it, they can't push him. I mean, and he's one of the stars of the show. So Kody doesn't like to talk about Robyn being the favorite wife. Kody doesn't like when Gwendlyn asks him about being the favorite wife, but Robyn has figured out how to be the favorite wife by living into the patriarchy, giving him what he needs. And even on her Pinterest, she has so many boards about the men's rights movement and how men are oppressed and women are not less than men. And she's anti-feminist, and she believes the patriarchy is a good thing. So she's drinking whatever Kody is sipping, and she's sucking it up and spewing it out to stay with Kody. Will that last long term? I don't know. Maybe once Ariela's out of school, she'll finally not want to be with Kody. But for now, as long as he can provide for her financially, she'll probably put up with him. So what are your thoughts about this? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.